Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is one of my clients, Victoria. We've been working together for 6 months-ish, five and a half, six.
Yep.
And yeah, I really just appreciate you hopping on. We're gonna kind of walk through her journey and our journey so far working together because she's seen some really awesome progress, body comp wise, and just how she's feeling in the gym and strength. And we'll kind of get into all that. But thank you so much for doing this.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Sweet, my friend, let's dive into I want to talk about the beginning in the sense of when we started working together. Where were you at, in the sense of like your body composition, how you were feeling in the gym, your relationship with food, and like what sprung you to be like, it might be worth getting some help with this and not like continuing to try to do it on my own.
Yeah, I mean, I had always tried to track macros. Like, I've been doing CrossFit for about 6, 7 years now, and I've always tried to count macros and track macros. But then it came honestly like a second job to me. I was like, this is too much. I would do so well with it, and then I would fall off of it completely because I would just become too busy with life and whatnot. And so then I'd jump back on it, and then I'd fall off again. So my body continued to like plateau. We would up and down, up and down. And my performance in the gym became also very like a roller coaster. I would do really well and then I would do really terribly. But then I'd also just feel very terrible about myself in the gym. Like I felt like I don't have any endurance to do anything. I'm not lifting strong enough. So I kind of was just like, whatever, I'll just come into the gym, I'll work out, I'll move through the movements and then call it a day. And then kind of just started having like a bad relationship with food. And I just wasn't, not that I was always eating the worst things, but I'm also just not eating enough. Like I'm eating maybe like a protein shake for breakfast or a bagel and egg for breakfast
Hmm.
and not eating again till dinner. So
Right.
like not really having that like constant um you know fuel in my
Yeah,
body.
totally.
Um and so then I was talking to one of the coaches here about like how I could be better in the gym. And we hopped back on macros. And I think I was really good for like 8 weeks. And then I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have to continuously be like, if it doesn't fit within my macros, I can't have it.
Right.
And so we had a more of a deeper conversation about like how I would feel working with somebody that like I didn't know. And my first reaction to her was, "No, I'll be fine. I feel actually worse like making you like mad at me if I don't do well."
Yep.
And then I fell off the train and then I was like, "You know what? I think it's a good idea that I like go with somebody I don't know."
Yep.
And had recommended you and how like you process like and how you do nutrition. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. And it's just been by far the best thing that I've ever done for myself because I feel like I can definitely hold myself accountable. And if I feel like, okay, like I have a weekend where it's not so great, I know Monday morning I'm back on it. Like
Yep.
I'm a very person. Like you tell me I have to eat at X, Y, and Z time, I'm gonna eat at X, Y, and Z time. It just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, 100%. A couple of things like kind of come to mind with that is like when people are like the if it fits my macros thing, and like what you said, it works for a little bit, but for people that, nothing against us, but we aren't going to the CrossFit Games, next year. It's like we want to feel right and so we can perform in the gym. We want to gain new skills, lift a little heavier, feel better in our clothes, feel awesome when we look in the mirror, right? And have a positive relationship with food. And like the if it fits my macros kind of promotes the all in or all out mentality. Like I'm tracking all the good food, but when I have pizza, I'm not going to track that, so I might as well eat as much as I can, right? At least for me, and a lot of people I talked to, they kind of were stuck in that, but they didn't know what else to do. Like they were like, this is all I know, so I'm just going to keep doing it, right? And then they blink and they're doing it for years, and their relationship with food just gets progressively worse. And then they get to a place where they're like, I don't know what else to do. So totally feel that. Also, that if it fits my macros can be like you can hit your macros with like fried chicken and gummy bears. Like You could, but like no one would agree that like if you're trying to lose fat and gain muscle mass and perform well in the gym, you should eat nothing but fried chicken and gummy bears. But like on MyFitnessPal, you could hit those numbers, right? And I think like leaning into what we've done, like, especially the past 5 months of like the quality of food and you really
Yeah.
dialing in like nutrition around your training to optimize because you train pretty frequently. Kind of walk through like what are your training structure like look like?
So typically a day to day for me is like say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I will either hit a 6 a.m. CrossFit class and then I'll do some accessory lifting in the afternoon because I'm trying to like get my noodles a little stronger.
Yeah,
Um,
girl.
so I'll do a little upper body accessory program, or vice versa, where I will go lift in the morning before work, and then I'll do CrossFit and Olympic lifting in the afternoon. So there's a few days a week, typically like 2 work days, and then like a weekend day where I'm hitting like 2 to 3 hours in the gym.
Yeah.
Um, so it's having that proper, even just having that proper knowledge of what I should be eating prior to working out has been a game changer. Before, I would work out at 9 o'clock in the morning and I wouldn't eat a single thing.
Right.
So just having that, like, okay, 1 hour before I work out, I need to have a banana.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
I have not eaten more bananas in my entire life. I have in these last 6 weeks. And it's just easy. I grab it and I go.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And like you actually can feel the difference in the gym energy wise. Like you're not feeling like, you're 10 minutes into a 20-minute AMRAP or 5 minutes into a 20-minute AMRAP and you're like, I've lost steam. I already feel like my, gas tank is on E and I have to just kind of move through it instead of like really, really pushing yourself in the gym because that's how right? We adapt and we become better, whether it's our aerobic capacity or gaining strength or whatever that is. Doing a little bit more weight or a little like one more rep is how we adapt, right? And so having the fuel is like absolutely necessary or we just are stuck from a performance side of things.
Yeah.
So performance has definitely gone up in like all of your kind of facets of training. I
Yeah.
know I see you all the time slaying barbells around. But kind of talk to me about the body composition changes that you've seen since we started working together, because those are pretty awesome too.
Yeah, so when we first started, I didn't have a specific number goal I wanted to hit. And I still don't. I
Yeah,
don't feel like putting a number on it for me is more of a detriment than it is like something good.
totally.
Um, in my head, I just wanted to be better in the gym. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be able to do gymnastics movements. I just wanted to be able to be better overall.
Yep.
Um, and like looking at myself, it's like my clothes fit different. Like I could look at myself in the mirror now and be like, wow, like you really do like look so different. So it's just like I've gained so much, just even confidence in myself.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, don't get me wrong. We have our days where I'm just like, you don't look different. But most of the time, like all of my work clothes are too big on me now.
Yeah.
Um, so it's that good feeling of like, oh my goodness, like I am actually doing it. And it's like those days where it's like days where I'm like, ugh, I don't really feel great. And then I get dressed to go to work and I'm like, okay, you are doing something.
Like these were really tight and now like they're falling off of me. Like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. So
something's
like
different.
I feel so good. Like I'm actually like getting definition like in my abdomen. Like don't get me wrong, we're not getting abs, but we're getting definition. So
Definition. That's a precursor to the
yeah.
six pack.
Yeah. And it's just like little things where it's like little things that I notice just make me feel so much better. And then that pushes me to be like, we just got to keep going. We
Yep.
got to keep pushing nutritionally because I've come this far. I can't undo it.
100%, 100%. And it's that positive feedback loop, right? Like whenever, I get started working with someone, the first 2 weeks, I can really tell if they're going to be like massively successful with this because if they are able to make that first 2 to 4 weeks and able to see just a little bit more definition, their clothes fit a little bit better, that positive feedback loop is enough for them to like do it again and do it again. And then it just compounds, right? Because you're pushing harder in the gym, you're building more muscle mass, you're burning more calories throughout the day while you're, most people sitting at their desk all day long. And it just compounds and compounds and compounds. It gets easier and easier to see even bigger results, right? Which is super, super cool. I guess like whenever we first started, because you mentioned, and a lot of people are like this, they like, I have a nutrition, person at my gym. They're a friend of mine. They give me some macros. Like, what was the like difference, or what would you necessarily tell someone if they're like, oh yeah, I have someone in my gym. Like, she's a friend of mine. She just gives me some macros. Like, she can kind of help me out. I don't need someone that I don't know or to follow like a real coaching program that, does video check-in calls and all of that. What would you say to someone that is like on the fence of like just using someone at their gym, a buddy, of theirs, whatever, versus like doing a coaching program like this? Like if they're kind of on the fence about like what to do.
Honestly, I thought in my head I would feel more inclined to be better at like my nutrition with somebody I knew,
Mhm.
because I'm with them all the time. I'm with them multiple days a week. I can't disappoint them.
Right.
And that was not the case. Like, even though I saw them face to face every single day and I knew I wasn't doing it, it just like it didn't spark that in me. And it was like having somebody that didn't know me and would support me. Like, they're going to support me no matter what.
Right.
They're going to, you know what, you're doing great. We could change some things, but I'm here. I love you. I'm going to support you.
Yeah.
Um, but like having somebody who didn't know me from a hole in the wall, that knew I knew had my back no matter what, tenfold, and would be there to support me, honestly was a bigger like game changer for me. And like I knew that like if I needed you, I could just message you,
Yep.
and like you would give me your unbiased, like really hard opinion. Whereas I feel like somebody I know is gonna like probably sugarcoat things a little bit more for me,
100%.
because like they know what I'm going through in life and
Sure.
everything.
Yeah.
Um, like these video calls, like every 2 week video calls is like something that like I almost look forward to.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I got to tell Liv about this one thing that I did.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like I look forward to them every 2 weeks
Yep.
to like tell you how well I'm doing,
Yeah.
or tell you I'm struggling, and
Yeah.
like what's one thing we can change to not struggle anymore. So
100%.
I think going with somebody who you don't know but you know is a very like supportive like person is probably a lot better. And
100%.
you know,
Yeah.
also you don't want to potentially like ruin a friendship if you don't do well.
Yeah, and I think like that's where like to be honest, whenever I started, my business and why I started my business because like I was, looked lean myself, right? And was like, performing well in the gym. And so people were asking what I was eating. And then I started my business. I started BVN helping out friends and family for free, like just
Yeah.
helping people out, right? And like making plans and all of this stuff. Um, it's way different than what I do now, but regardless, it was like just helping people out, right? And like I was so confused. I was like, man, like these people don't really take me that seriously as a coach
Yeah.
because they're my sister, they're my best friend, right? Like they just like we don't talk about when it's time to like really hold them accountable. It's
Yep.
hard because our
Yep.
relationship is kind of in the way and comes first versus me being like, hey dude, you can't have that for breakfast anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it's so different because it's a way we've had years of just like being buds, right?
Yeah.
So like we talk about, holding them accountable and saying, hey, like this doesn't align with your goals. I need you to change that in the next 2 weeks. Can you do that? Can you give
Yep.
me like a verbal confirmation that this is going to change? And like holding them accountable to that was really hard. And then, I mean, shocker to no one, they got way, let's say, less drastic or noticeable results than my clients do now that don't know me or saw me on Instagram and, join the coaching program. And we have that relationship that I can hold them accountable no matter what. and we
Yep.
don't have the dynamic of like, they're a sibling or they're a friend or whatever it is. It does cloud things if you're trying to have the relationship of really holding someone accountable to
Yep.
this is where we're going. These are your goals. It's my job to get you there, and dragging your hand sometimes being
Yep.
like, let's go.
Yep.
Really hard to do that with a friend. And that's what most people, kind of experience when they're like, oh yeah, my like homie from the gym does this nutrition thing, and I'm just gonna like, I'm just gonna do that. It's like, that's fine. Maybe works out sometimes, but for most people, that relationship kind of gets in the way.
Yeah. I almost need you to take me, kicking and screaming, drag me,
Yep. I'm like,
drag me
we're going.
until you're
Because
like, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
100%. And like I think it's something like really innate and like I just see the potential in people like nobody else. Like I just see like when they're like, I want to lose 20 pounds, I'm like, let's go. Like let's freaking do it. And I just see that potential in them. And I like whether they like it or not, I'm like, we're going. And because I just see that and like I fight for that potential in everyone that I work with. And I just think it hits so different if you know them and you have that other dynamic in there. It makes it so much honestly harder and more complicated versus having that like coach and client relationship where like it really centers around your goals. Like let's do whatever it takes. Um yeah, I think that that's awesome. Yeah, I guess like last question. Um what do you think has been the biggest shift with your relationship with food? I know we touched on it a little bit, but I think a lot of people struggle with that, especially if they've done macros for years. What's been your biggest shift with your like relationship with food that you've noticed since we've started, since we've really broken things down? We've talked about timing, we've talked about how to fuel performance, like the biggest shift that you've noticed versus when you were like tracking everything in MyFitnessPal and like doing that whole thing and like what we're doing now.
I think it's just overall like I feel that I can have good days and then I can have like okay days and I feel like, I would almost go for the easy way. So now like I can be on the road, be really busy and I could easily go through a drive through and I'm like, you know what? No. You know that like you need better food for yourself. I'll walk into a grocery store, I'll get a rotisserie chicken and some like raw vegetables and I'll eat it in my car.
Yeah,
It's crazy as that sounds, but
I love
like
it.
I I've just become so more confident because I'm like, okay, I know like I can order food and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna eat this on this plate, but I'm not gonna touch that because
Right.
that doesn't serve me.
Yep.
Like that processed food doesn't serve me. So I'm going to eat the fresh food, but I'm not going to eat the processed food.
Mhm.
And it makes me like I go out to eat and I look for something that is a good choice. I go for a meat and a vegetable. And if they don't have like a non-processed carb, I won't eat it.
Right. Yep.
And it's just having that like just confidence in myself to know what I'm eating now that I know how much fuel food can actually give me. It's I try to make a really conscious decision to go with the more like proper food, the healthier food.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like honestly, you fit this kind of this like mold of a lot of women that do CrossFit, 5, 6 days a week, go really hard and are kind of chronically overtraining and underfueling, and then have these crazy cravings that they eventually end up giving into. And then we are kind of like what you mentioned on this roller coaster, and then body comp and performance just stay stuck because you're constantly like underfueling during the week and then kind of like giving into cravings over the weekend, and then we're just like in this loop. Meanwhile, you're like training your ass off and you're like, what the hell's going on? Like what is happening? And we're like, oh, well, I'm eating like 1,300 calories. Like, how could I possibly be not losing weight, right? And then we just feel really frustrated because CrossFit's hard, right? So if you're doing it and you feel like you don't look as fit as you are, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And I think that like when we started, a lot of women are doing that, under fueling and then having cravings and just not knowing where else to turn except for MyFitnessPal and like just doing that for years, honestly. Like and their relationship with food gets worse. They still are in this like off and on, all in, all out mentality because they're tracking the good stuff and not tracking the bad stuff and all of these things and it just keeps them stuck. So I appreciate you hopping on and kind of giving some more insight of like how to get unstuck from that. And because I think a lot of women are in the position that you were whenever we first started. And it's so cool to see, yes, of course, the body composition changes you've been able to make and like you're like I say before and after, but just like you're kind of progressively better and leaner like progress pictures. But
Yeah.
also like your mentality shift around food and fueling, and especially with how much you're training in the gym, it's just like that's just been super, super cool to watch.
Yeah, it's been an awesome ride, and I can't wait to keep going to see how where I do end up.
Yeah, like it's seriously it's so cool and honestly having clients like yourself that like I tell people all the time like I can give you the best plan ever. I can message you every single day. We could have a Zoom call every day, but if you're not doing what you need to do as far as executing the plan on your end, we're
Yep.
not going to see a lot. And so having a client like yourself that I know and can trust, we can make tweaks and you're going to execute on it and I can hold you accountable and you're gonna be like, yeah, I messed up a little bit and we can keep on going and adjust. Like that's what makes my job so rewarding and just having clients like yourself is so awesome. So thanks for being you.
Thank you. Thank you for being you.
Absolutely. Awesome girl. Guys, if you are like Toria and you're like, dude, I'm so tired of struggling. I'm so tired of hiring a nutrition coach and then just giving me some macros and then emailing me a month later. Unfortunately, that's a lot of nutrition coaching in the space. And so if you're looking for someone to really hold you accountable, there will be a link somewhere below this video. I'll have it on YouTube and you can book in a call with me. We'll kind of talk about where you're at, where you want to be, see if I can help with the gap in the middle, and hopefully get you some awesome results like Victoria here.